We can share printers on a network, and then clients can use those printers just as if they were connected to their own PC. There are three ways that we can share printers. We can simply install a printer on a computer and indicate that we want that printer to be shared. In this case, any printer can be shared on a network. There are also specialized printers called network printers that have their own network interface cards and therefore do not need to be connected to a computer to be connected to a network. And finally, we could use a print server. A print server is a dedicated server for print services. So print servers can house many printers, and we could have an administrator whose main responsibility is to maintain the print server and make sure that those resources are available for clients. So print services allow a computer to share and to use printers that are connected to other computers on the network or connected directly to the network, just as if those printers were directly connected to their PC. But since those printers are not directly connected to their PC, troubleshooting issues can become more complex. When we isolate the problems with a network printer, the first question we should ask is the printer even online? Since the printer oftentimes is not within sight of the user, the printer may be turned off or disconnected, and the user would not be aware of this. The next question might be, is the network printer on the remote PC configured correctly? In other words, are print services on the client configured properly? Also, is the correct network printer selected on the remote PC? Oftentimes, clients will have more than one printer from which to choose. The client may be printing, but not to where they are expecting to be printing. Also, is there enough hard disk space available on the remote PC? The remote PC will have to spool the print job first before it will be sent to the printer, so that there will need to be enough hard disk space on the remote PC in order to spool. Other questions that we can ask are, can we print successfully from another application on the remote PC? In this case, we're trying to determine whether the application is at fault. Also, can we print successfully from the host PC using the identical application? In other words, can we print from the PC where the printer is directly attached using the exact same application? In this case, what we're trying to determine is, does the application that we're using have the capability to print through a network printer? And for DOS applications, we may need to exit the application before printing occurs. Older applications don't work well on network printers because oftentimes they were designed before network printing was available and therefore were not designed to work in this type of a configuration. So for DOS applications, we may need to actually exit an application and then printing will occur. So in summary, in this chapter, we discussed types of printers and how each one works, how to troubleshoot printers, and finally, sharing a printer on a network. In our next section, we'll switch gears entirely and talk about notebook computers.